Artists seem to get in the way of the music. Get out of the way of the music. You know, don't write the music. Let the music write itself.
Some legends leave behind music. Michael Jackson left behind mysteries that still refuse to fade. Even his burial sparked worldwide attention, with questions that lingered long after the farewell.
Say Elvis at Graceland, or even Michael Jackson had he been buried at Neverland. The public will not be able to visit Michael Jackson's grave.
From hidden personal habits to creative secrets and the private world he built, these remarkable stories reveal a side of the King of Pop that most people never knew.
And when I saw him move, I was mesmerized. I knew that was exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life because of James Brown.
Choosing the grave. The hardest battle began after the world stopped watching. Michael Jackson's final resting place became the center of a deeply emotional family disagreement that lasted for weeks after his death. One location stood out immediately. Jermaine Jackson wanted his brother buried at Neverland Ranch, the estate that had become part of Michael's public identity. In fact, Michael had even specified in his 2002 will that he wished to be buried at the ranch. To many fans, it seemed like the perfect farewell, but not everyone agreed. Katherine Jackson firmly opposed the idea, while Michael had vowed never to live there again after his 2005 trial. His mother's primary concern was California's strict zoning laws, which forbid burials on private residential property. She knew securing a legal exception would turn the estate into a permanent circus. As the family weighed both sides, the debate continued behind closed doors. In the end, they reached a final decision. They chose Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale and completed the paperwork needed to move the process forward. The argument was finally over, but the story of Michael was not. Before we continue, here's an image that has left many Michael Jackson fans wondering what really happened behind the scenes. It shows a person who closely resembles Michael Jackson lying inside a casket during a private funeral ceremony, surrounded by mourners paying their final respects. The image has fueled rumors that it offers a rare glimpse into the secretive events involving the King of Pop's burial and the many unanswered questions that continue to surround it. However, there is no confirmed confirmation that this image is authentic or that it actually depicts Michael Jackson. Could this be a genuine photograph or simply another internet mystery? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hidden final resting place. Some places are built to be seen. Michael Jackson's final resting place was built to stay hidden. After months of worldwide attention, he was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, one of the most private cemeteries in the country. His family chose a place known for protecting legendary names from public attention. But Michael was not buried in an ordinary grave. He was laid to rest inside the Holly Terrace section of the Great Mausoleum, a secure building closed to the general public. Even visitors who enter the cemetery cannot reach the area where he rests. The location was carefully selected to give him something he rarely enjoyed during his lifetime: peace and privacy. Surrounded by thick walls and tight security, his final resting place has remained protected for years. Millions of fans know where Michael is buried, yet almost no one will ever stand beside his tomb.
At the crypt and sarcophagus of Michael Jackson.
Even in death, the world's biggest superstar remained out of reach. Michael's hidden burial was only the final chapter. The real secrets were woven throughout the extraordinary life he lived. Artistic obsession. A hidden world existed behind Michael Jackson's fame. From childhood, he showed a deep love for art. He used pencils, crayons, and watercolors to express himself. His mother, Katherine Jackson, said he was always drawing, even in school. Even as a child, he spent countless hours filling pages with sketches and ideas. In class, Michael often drew and then threw his work away, never satisfied with what he made. A classmate once kept one of his drawings and later got it signed by him. Small moments like this showed a creative side few people really saw. Michael also spoke openly about his love for art. He admired paintings, sculptures, and museums. He believed true art could connect deeply with human emotions and leave a lasting impact.
Just a little,
Anyway, I want to talk about it first.
once-in-a-lifetime thing. Just happen to have 17 drawings.
Years later, collections of his original drawings surfaced. They included portraits of famous figures and personal inspirations. Each sketch revealed a restless imagination that never stopped working. Behind the global superstar was an artist quietly creating. Music from the mind. Creation started long before a studio ever got involved. Michael Jackson didn't simply write songs, he built entire tracks inside his mind first. No formal training in music theory shaped his process, and traditional notation was never part of his workflow. Instead, sound existed in him as a complete picture. He could hear full songs internally, before they were ever recorded. Layer by layer, he constructed music using only his voice. Beatboxing formed the rhythm. Humming carried the melody. He would even sing each instrument separately, stacking bass lines, harmonies, and effects through pure vocal control. Studio engineers were amazed by Michael's creative process. He often arrived with complete songs already finished in his mind and guided musicians by singing every note himself. Michael said his ideas came to him instantly, with lyrics, melodies, rhythms, and harmonies appearing together. His music was not built piece by piece. It was fully imagined before anyone else heard a single note. Legends behind the legend. Greatness rarely grows alone. Even Michael Jackson looked up to people who shaped the performer he would become. His biggest inspiration was James Brown. As a child, Michael watched every move Brown made on television, studying his footwork so closely that he became frustrated whenever cameras failed to show his feet. Years later, he shared the stage with the man who first inspired him. Michael also admired Fred Astaire, whose smooth style influenced moments in Smooth Criminal. Charlie Chaplin touched him in a different way. Michael connected with Chaplin's mix of joy and sadness, and even recorded Chaplin's song Smile in 1995 as a tribute. His creative world stretched further. Marcel Marceau inspired the illusion behind the moonwalk, while Jackie Wilson, Sammy Davis Jr., and Mavis Staples all left their mark on his music and performances. Michael never copied these legends. He blended their greatest qualities into something entirely his own. That transformation helped create the performer the world would never forget. Secret eating habits. Fame filled the stage, but Michael Jackson's eating habits told a different story. Behind the scenes, his personal chef discovered a routine that surprised almost everyone. Michael could work for hours without touching a meal. Then, without warning, he would become extremely hungry. Even then, his food choices followed unusual rules. He was a strict health food enthusiast and a vegetarian who actually loved fresh vegetables like broccoli and kale, though he often went through intense periods of fasting during rehearsals. He loved pizza but had little interest in pasta. He also had a sweet tooth, but avoided sugar and did not like chocolate. Preparing meals for him became a creative challenge. His chef found clever ways to incorporate these favorites into specialized dishes Michael actually enjoyed. Mexican-inspired meals, grilled tofu, and carefully prepared recipes became regular favorites. For someone who entertained millions, his daily diet was surprisingly simple. Every meal reflected personal habits few fans ever knew. Even the smallest details of Michael's private life carried surprises. And the next secret reveals another side of the King of Pop. The hidden voice. Silence fooled almost everyone. The soft, gentle voice Michael Jackson used in interviews was not always the voice people heard behind closed doors. Friends and people who worked closely with him said Michael often spoke in a much deeper, stronger tone away from cameras. His longtime friend David Guest claimed the public voice was very different from the one he used in private conversations, describing it as confident and powerful. That deeper voice occasionally appeared in public.
And when I saw him move, I was mesmerized. I've never seen a performer perform like James Brown.
Fans heard it during the spoken parts of You Rock My World and the driving vocals of 2000 Watts. Each moment revealed a richer side of his vocal range, catching many listeners off guard. Michael could shift between gentle, high tones and deep, commanding ones with surprising ease. The reason for this difference was never officially explained, leaving a mystery that continues to intrigue fans. Neverland's secret world. Reality faded the moment Neverland came into view. Hidden among California's rolling hills stood a private world unlike anything most people had ever seen. Michael Jackson did not build an ordinary ranch. He created a fully functioning amusement park on his property. A towering Ferris wheel rose above the landscape, while a carousel, bumper cars, and carnival rides filled the grounds with color and movement. Every path led to another surprise. making the estate feel more like a fantasy than a home.
Ready?
Ready?
Wait, no, I'm not ready. Ready? No.
I'm crazy for doing.
The experience did not end outside. Neverland also featured a private movie theater designed to recreate the feeling of a real cinema. Family and guests could watch films without leaving the ranch, adding another layer to Michael's dream world. Every detail reflected his desire to create a place where imagination had no limits. Neverland became a world built around wonder, escape, and childhood dreams. Yet even this extraordinary place could not escape the mysteries that would one day surround its owner. Neverland's Wild Kingdom. Ordinary backyards were never enough. At Neverland, Michael Jackson created a private zoo, more like a wildlife park than a celebrity estate. Across the ranch, visitors could see animals from around the world living in specially designed habitats. Giraffes walked across open spaces. Elephants occupied large enclosures, while zebras, llamas, and exotic birds added more life to the property. Every visit offered another unexpected encounter. One resident became famous around the world. Michael's chimpanzee Bubbles was more than a pet. He became one of the most recognizable symbols of Michael's unusual lifestyle. Although Bubbles did not spend his entire life at Neverland, the chimp remained closely linked to the ranch in the public imagination. The animals were not there simply for display. They reflected Michael's fascination with nature and his dream of creating a place unlike anywhere else. Neverland kept growing beyond imagination, and every discovery made the estate feel even more unbelievable. Yet this extraordinary ranch still held secrets. Tracks to fantasy. Reality took a detour the moment this train rolled by. Hidden inside Neverland Ranch was a fully functioning narrow-gauge railroad that carried guests across the massive estate. This was no backyard attraction. Michael Jackson invested in a custom diesel-powered locomotive styled to look like the historic C.P. Huntington steam train. Built by Chance Rides, it traveled along tracks winding past lakes, gardens, and many of Neverland's most unusual attractions. Every ride felt like stepping into another era. The experience became even more remarkable at Neverland Valley Station. With its clock tower and Victorian-style design, the station looked like it belonged in a classic American railroad town instead of a private ranch. Every detail was carefully planned to create the feeling of entering a different world. The railroad was never just a way to travel from one place to another. It reflected Michael's determination to turn fantasy into reality. If the train seemed unbelievable, another hidden part pushed that dream even further. Hidden Archive Vault. Legends leave behind more than memories. Michael Jackson left behind an entire hidden world. Far from the famous gates and public attention, a massive off-site archive warehouse in Los Angeles quietly protected thousands of pieces from his extraordinary life. From the outside, the building looked completely ordinary. Nothing hinted at the remarkable collection stored behind its secured doors. Inside were stage costumes, performance props, awards, personal belongings, photographs, and rare memorabilia preserved under carefully controlled conditions. The collection included items from the legendary Thriller era, childhood drawings, artwork, gifts from world leaders, and personal keepsakes that followed his journey from child star to global icon. Every object captured a different moment in his life and career. Much of the collection has never been displayed to the public. It remains locked away, untouched by curious eyes, hidden from the spotlight. These forgotten treasures tell stories that even lifelong fans have never seen, and the next secret proves there were still surprises waiting. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Private Arcade World. Childhood never packed its bags here. Deeper inside the ranch stood one of its most astonishing secrets, a massive private arcade covering roughly 14,000 square feet. Flashing lights filled the space while electronic sounds echoed from every direction. Long rows of vintage pinball machines, classic video game cabinets, and motion simulators turned the building into a full-scale entertainment center. It felt less like a room and more like a hidden amusement hall built for someone who refused to let wonder disappear. The same spirit continued throughout the property. Life-sized superhero figures stood along the hallways. Carousel horses became decorations instead of rides. Disney collectibles and fantasy-themed treasures filled every corner, making the ranch feel more like a storybook than a private home. Every detail reflected Michael Jackson's determination to keep imagination alive. There was no blueprint for a place like this, and no celebrity estate came close to matching it. Yet every hidden discovery only made the ranch more mysterious. Hidden vehicle collection. Ordinary cars never stood a chance here. Tucked behind Neverland's maintenance buildings was a surprising collection of vehicles that few people ever knew existed. During the 2003 search of the ranch, investigators documented everything from customized transportation to rare movie memorabilia. The collection proved that even the garages held unexpected secrets. Among the most unusual was a Peter Pan-themed fire truck. The property also housed a 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood used in the film Driving Miss Daisy. Investigators recorded motorcycles, specialty vehicles, and horse-drawn carriages. One customized limousine drew attention because of its velvet upholstery, decorative woodwork, and elaborate interior.
You just like to have a good time, you know, and take in, oh, did you see over there? You know.
Authorities carefully searched the garage, inspecting vehicles, storage compartments, and nearby structures while creating detailed photographs and inventory records. Every discovery added another layer to the strange world behind Neverland's gates. This was never just a collection of cars. It reflected Michael Jackson's love for fantasy, history, and one-of-a-kind creations. And beyond the garage, another remarkable secret was waiting. Water balloon chaos. Laughter echoed louder than music on days like these. Inside Neverland, ordinary afternoons could explode into complete chaos. One of the ranch's most unforgettable traditions was a giant water balloon fight that transformed the peaceful grounds into a playground of non-stop action. Buckets filled with balloons waded across the lawns, and within moments, they were flying through the air from every direction. Children raced across the fields, laughing as they dodged one splash after another. No one stayed dry for long. Michael Jackson never watched from the sidelines. He ran with everyone else, throwing balloons, avoiding surprise attacks, and joining the excitement like any other child.
Egg hunt day.
Yeah.
And we're going, how many eggs are there?
For a while, the world's biggest superstar disappeared behind the laughter. Visitors later described the atmosphere as loud, carefree, and completely unscripted. Outside the gates, Michael carried the weight of global fame. Inside Neverland, those pressures seemed to vanish beneath flying balloons and endless smiles. It was another glimpse into the private world he created. Billie Jean's hidden message. Every beat carried a purpose. Billie Jean was more than a hit song. Released in 1982 during the Thriller sessions, it became one of Michael Jackson's most carefully crafted creations. While the public focused on the lyrics, the real secret layout was in the bass line. Producer Quincy Jones initially wanted to cut the song's famously long intro, but Michael fiercely fought to keep it, stating that the extra seconds were exactly what made him want to dance. Beneath its unforgettable rhythm was a story built on control, tension, and emotion. The famous bass line never rushed. It pulled listeners deeper with every note, creating a feeling that something important was closing in. Michael reinforced that feeling through the lyrics. The repeated line, "The kid is not my son," returned again and again, driving the message home. Every beat, pause, and vocal choice worked together with remarkable precision. The music video carried the same idea. Neon-lit streets and flashing lights created the feeling of constant attention, while Michael moved through the scene with calm confidence. Music and visuals became one powerful statement, turning rhythm into storytelling. Nothing felt random. Every detail served a purpose. And the next hidden secret reveals that even Michael's greatest masterpieces still held stories waiting to be uncovered. Screaming back. Silence was never an option this time. In 1995, Michael Jackson joined forces with Janet Jackson to release Scream, a song fueled by the pressure of relentless media attention. Instead of soft melodies, the track hit with pounding drums, distorted synthesizers, and a cold industrial sound that reflected frustration and emotional exhaustion. Every beat felt sharp, urgent, and impossible to ignore. Michael and Janet traded vocals throughout the song, turning it into a powerful exchange rather than a solo performance. Their voices pushed against the music with equal force, creating the feeling of two people refusing to be drowned out. The music video matched that intensity, with a futuristic black and white world filled with isolation, precision, and controlled emotion. There were no unnecessary distractions. Every movement, visual and sound reinforced the same message. Scream never tried to calm the storm. It confronted it head-on, becoming one of the boldest statements of Michael's career. Then another hidden story was still waiting beneath the surface. Hidden Heartbreak. Nothing about this song was as simple as it first sounded. Released during the Invincible era, Heartbreaker revealed Michael Jackson experimenting with a bold new sound, while hiding deep emotion beneath every beat. Heavy bass, sharp electronic rhythms, and digital effects gave the track a cold, restless energy that never stayed still. Michael shifted between smooth singing and rapid vocal delivery, making his voice feel both emotional and distant at the same time. Every sound reflected the tension of broken trust and fading connection. Instead of telling the story in a straight line, the music slowly changed, adding fresh layers that kept the pressure building. Soft melodies collided with mechanical sounds, creating a constant battle between emotion and control. Nothing in the production felt accidental. Every effect, each pause, and every vocal choice strengthened the feeling of betrayal and uncertainty. Even behind one of his most modern songs, Michael was still hiding another carefully crafted secret. Thriller's Hidden Fear. Fear danced to the beat long before the monsters appeared. Thriller was never just a horror song. Michael Jackson built it around the fear of transformation, blending suspense with music in a way few artists had attempted. Instead of telling a straightforward story, the song pulled listeners into an unsettling world through mood, rhythm, and imagination. Vincent Price's unforgettable narration and eerie laugh framed the song like a classic horror film without becoming a literal story. Creaking doors, distant howls, and carefully layered sound effects filled the background, adding tension many listeners barely noticed. To construct this terrifying acoustic landscape, legendary audio engineer Bruce Swedian had Michael record his background vocals through a custom-made, 8-foot-long cardboard tube, and even used his own pet Great Dane to record the realistic wolf howls in the background. Contrary to popular rumors, there were no hidden backward messages. The real secret was the sound itself. Every beat, effect, and silence worked together, proving Michael could make fear irresistible without showing the monster. Michael Jackson's story never truly ended. From hidden burial details to the remarkable secrets that shaped his life, every discovery reveals another layer of the world's most mysterious superstar. Some answers finally came to light, while others remain locked away forever. Until the next mystery unfolds, keep searching, keep questioning, and keep the legend alive.